Right, let's talk about 2024. How do I? This cork, eh? Can I?
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Miss Trudy.
It's Trudy, guys. Hello and welcome to the channel. Welcome here in Sega. My name is Dennis Ohuru and today is 31st of December 2024, the last day of the year, the busiest year of my life. We're going to talk about that. So we just had breakfast. Mom made some very beautiful pancakes. I've not had pancakes in a very long time, so I really enjoyed that. So what I want to do right now is I just want to shower and then I want to head over to Sega Lodge. Those of you that watched my previous videos have seen Sega Lodge. It's sort of a hotel close to where we stay. And I'm just going to go over there and sit down and take you through my 2024 and how it has been. I'm just going to talk to you as though to a friend and just run you through this year, man. It's been an interesting one. Yeah, so let's do that. Stay tuned. Right, let's talk about 2024. I'd say 2024 for me has been step out of the door and life will happen to you. I mean, this has been the strangest year of my life. It has come with very high highs and very low lows as well, and I'm still getting to grasp with this year. It's like an out-of-body experience, some of these things that have happened this year. It's been a year of fasts. I've done so many things for the first time and I'm going to talk to you about all of them. Right, so when this year began, like most of you watching, I was optimistic. When a new year begins, you have this sense of optimism that things are going to go great. Maybe this is finally going to be your year. And it was the same for me. I thought, well, when the year began, I think I had done about 4 years on YouTube, and I was like, maybe 2024 is going to be the year my YouTube channel finally takes off. So, when 2024 began, it found that I had begun a playlist on my YouTube channel called Working Different Jobs for a Day. In that playlist, I went out and found like a job and then did it for a day. That was an experiment on my YouTube channel that I had hoped would become sort of what I would be known for. Like people would be, do you know that YouTube channel where that guy does like different jobs for a day? That was the idea. And so that playlist had carried over from 2023. In 2023 I did about 3 different jobs, but then 2024 began, and from the very first video I made on the channel this year, I should have known that this was going to be a different year. Because the first video on my YouTube channel this year was part of that playlist, doing different jobs for a day, but the subject of the video was I became a sex worker for a day. And that is just wild, right? And so I did that video. I became a sex worker for a day. I went out, you know, talked to some women, told them I was selling merchandise. It was a wild video. I've since taken that video down, and the reason I did that is because it was sort of disrupting my YouTube channel. YouTube kept recommending it to audiences at the expense of my other videos. And so I didn't want my YouTube channel to be known for that, and so I took it off. Sometimes that happens with YouTube, like if a video goes viral, they keep promoting that and then they sort of like ignore your other videos, which could even be better than this video. So if you're a YouTuber and you see something like that, and that video that has gone viral is not what you want to be known for, you can just take it off the channel. So I took that video off the channel. But that playlist sort of went on, and I think I did like 10 or 11 different jobs for a day. I'll attach that playlist somewhere, maybe in the description of this video, and if you're interested, you can go watch it. I worked as a construction laborer. I don't know how these guys can continue. There's no way a human being can continue. These guys are not human. I'm a tattoo conductor, sex worker, poultry farmer. I sold second-hand clothes for a day. I made and sold street food for a day. I even became a donkey cart driver for a day. And doing these different jobs sort of like shifted my perspective and sort of like made me see life through the lens of the people that do these jobs. I've always considered myself a person that is very open to new knowledge, and I like to learn new things, and I've always known that you don't judge a person by what he does. And so really it was not a problem for me to like go and work with construction laborers or become a matatu conductor, because one of the things I know about life is that life happens, and just because someone is in a certain season of life, it doesn't mean that is who they are. Okay, so I did those jobs, and the reason I stopped doing that playlist is because it didn't pick off like I thought it would, and so I decided to try a different tact. That is another thing about YouTube, is that if something doesn't work, you can always, you know, switch, experiment, try different things. So I decided to start another playlist of videos, and that playlist is called Living in Nairobi, and I began that playlist in about April, and that playlist changed my life. The first video in my playlist, Living in Nairobi, was published on 10th May 2024, and May is an interesting month for me because it is my birthday month, but we'll talk about that. And the reason I started this playlist is because before that playlist, I had often like confessed to friends and acquaintances of mine that I wished that I could make more outdoorsy content. Like I wanted to go out, you know, visit exotic places, make content like some of the people that I look up to on YouTube make, the likes of Miss Trudy and Tayo Aina from Nigeria. You know, they're visiting different places. And then one time somebody challenged me and they told me, if you don't have the money to make outdoorsy videos, just make videos of your life. Don't wait until you have money to go out visiting exotic places. Just make videos of your life. And maybe by making those videos of your life, it will get you to where you want to be. And I thought about that and I was like, that is wisdom. So I began and I made that first video, Living in Nairobi. And now this is where 2024 really starts off for me, in the month of May 2024. I say that because I turned 30 on 15th May 2024 and organized my first birthday party. I've never had a birthday party in my life. Never had like a birthday event with friends coming over and birthday cake and things like that. Never before. And so I thought that now that I was turning 30, it was a good time to like organize a small birthday party, invite a few people and just celebrate turning 30. Because turning 30 for guys is, and even for ladies, is a very sort of an interesting like shift in your mentality. And so I organized this birthday party and I invited a few people to come, and I had a friend whose mother agreed to bake a cake for me. And this friend of mine, his name is Tugat, who does a bit of catering, agreed to make some snacks for me, just some mandazis and ground nuts, right? And then I decided to make tea. And then I hired a few plastic chairs and then arranged them in the house and waited for my guests to come. And nobody came to my birthday party, apart from that friend who was organizing, preparing the snacks, and one other friend called Eli. And so it was a birthday party of 3. It was me, Stugat, and Eli. And we did that party. It was very funny. But then Stugat left because he was needed elsewhere. And then it was just me and Eli, and we had to cut the cake. And we cut the cake. And at that point, my life looked so bleak. I was like, man, if I can organize my 30th birthday and only one person comes to cut the cake, then man, my life is really in the doldrums. I'm in the upside down. That is what I thought at the time. So I turned 30. And in turning 30, I began my year of fasts. I had never had a birthday party before. So that was the first birthday event of my life that I organized for myself, even though just one person came to cut the cake. The second thing is I got the first cake, the first birthday cake of my life. I'd never had a cake on my birthday. That was the very first cake that I had, like to celebrate a birthday of mine. The year of fasts had officially begun. Another interesting thing that happened to me on my birthday, my 30th birthday, is I received a letter I had written to myself from 4 years ago. So what had happened is, at the age of 26, while living with an aunt of mine in Nairobi, I'd written a letter to my future self. And how I did that is I had 2 email addresses, right? So I wrote a letter and then sent it from one email address to my other email address and scheduled it so that it would arrive on 15th May 2024 on my 30th birthday. And in that letter I just outlined my hopes and my, the things I wished for future me. I put in a lot of things, including a family, having a wife, a kid, a Volkswagen Golf. All these things were in that letter, and I'll attach that video somewhere here so that you can go watch it. And so that letter arrived on 15th May 2024, and I made a video and I just read it out, and man, when that letter arrived, I had not achieved maybe more than 70% of the things I'd written in the letter. But I just read it out, and it was an interesting experience, and it is something I would advise any person that is, visionary and, has future aspirations to do. Just write a letter, send it to, if you have 2 email addresses, send it to the other email address, schedule it so that it arrives at whichever date that you want it to arrive. That I think was very interesting. That was the second interesting thing that happened. And because I turned 30, I decided that I would do something outrageous. I decided that I wanted to see the ocean for the first time in my life. The way I was going to do that was to take a train from Nairobi to Mombasa and see the Indian Ocean. I'd never been to Mombasa before. I have no family in Mombasa. I didn't know what would happen once I got to Mombasa. What I did is I took 10,000 shillings and decided to go to Mombasa. So I went to the SGR and booked a train and went to Mombasa. And this trip was another thing that was full of firsts for me because I had never boarded a train in my life. Right? Soda imefika. Asante sana. So guys, as I was saying, I'd never boarded a train in my life. So by going to Mombasa and taking the SGR, it was not only my first time to Mombasa, but it was also my first time on a train. I went to Mombasa, arrived safely, booked an Airbnb. It was my first time booking an Airbnb. Went to the beach, swam in the Indian Ocean, wrote my name on the beach, you know. I saw a crocodile feeding frenzy, and then I went and saw hippos from up close. I've got to tell you, man, those animals are huge, huge. Hippos, I mean, eh? And so I think that sort of marked a tipping point for my 2024 experience. Because when I came back from Mombasa, I sort of had like a mental shift. I was like, I'm 30 years old. I've got to figure this thing out, man. I've got to figure this thing called life out. And so after coming back from Mombasa, I decided that because I was earning some money from AdSense, I was going to leave the house I was living in Ongata Rongai and move to a better house. If you have been watching my older videos on the channel, especially the videos of my life in Rongai, you will know that my life in Rongai was one of the lowest points of my life. You guys know that church mouse? That church mouse that people often say is very poor. I was living as though I was that church mouse's best friend. My life was a movie in that place. I think I made a video about my house in Rongai when I was moving out. Suffice it to say, it was a terrible house. I decided to move to Umoja from Ongata Rongai, and I was going to move into a one-bedroom house. You see, the thing is, in Ongata Rongai, I was living in a double room. That's 2 rooms joined together. So I decided that for the first time in my life, I was going to rent a one-bedroom house. And for those of you that don't know this, for guys that are coming from families that are not well off, and you come to Nairobi and start working in Nairobi, renting a one-bedroom house is a marker of success. It is a marker of success. If you come from a very, from a family that doesn't do well, and you come to Nairobi and you start off from a very, for lack of a better word, bad house, and you sort of hustle. If you ever get to the point where you're renting a one-bedroom house, man, you feel so good within yourself. You feel so great. It is a marker of moving forward in your life. And so moving to a one-bedroom house was sort of like a positive reinforcement for me. I was very proud of it. I was able to start living like a man and not like a piglet. The way I was living in Ongata Rongai. And then what happened? After renting my one-bedroom house, I kept on with my life, and I kept making videos in my playlist of living in Nairobi, making videos of like what a bachelor eats in Nairobi, smelling like a CEO, just making videos of my lifestyle in that place, in Umoja. And then I did something that had always been a dream of mine for a very long time, and that was setting up a home office. I had what is it called? One of those kitchen tables that I turned into an office table, and then I got a second-hand office chair at about 6,500 and set that up. And I was so happy about that, because before that, the way I used to work was interesting, to say the least. Then that sort of unlocked some blessings that I didn't expect. A view of my YouTube channel saw that office and decided that they were going to gift me a computer monitor. And they did. They gifted me a 27-inch HP computer monitor. And so we organized a meetup, and I went to pick up that computer monitor. brought it back to the office, and the office was looking so good. Then somebody else decided to gift me a keyboard, and my office was complete. My office was complete. So in 2024, Dennis Ohuru set up a home office, and that was beautiful. After setting up my office, at this point, life had been very good to me up to that point, right? And I was very optimistic that it would continue to be, but then I hit sort of a snag, and that snag is the subject of court proceedings right now. I have been sued by a former client of mine, and so that is another first in my life. In 2024, I was sued for the first time in my life, not once but twice. And I've made several videos about the court issues. I'm not going to go into them, past saying that one of the matters has a ruling date on 6th of January 2025. Yeah. Before I got sued, I made a certain video that is the cause of the suit. But before I was sued, a strange string of events happened, but it ended up with me tasting my first glass of wine. I'd never had wine before. How do I? This cork, eh? Can I? And I had my first glass of wine. It was, I think, sparkling grape or something. And I tasted it. It was good. It was good. I think that was also a first. And then after tasting the glass of wine, sort of like to signify a tipping point, the next thing that happened is I was sued, and then sued again. A sponsored video is any video where you are paid by a third party. It could be a person or a brand or whatever. You're paid by a third party to make said video. Somebody reached out to me, and they live in the US, and they told me that they'd been born in an area of Nairobi called Jericho, and they asked me to go to that place and make a video of that estate. It had been very many years since they were last home, and they said, go and make a video of that place. I want to see what home is like, and they paid me to do that. And that was my very first sponsored video on my channel, Dennis Ohuru. Interesting. I also got like a gift from someone in the UK. They decided that they wanted to purchase some shoes for me, and I call those shoes my diaspora shoes because they are from the UK, and I wear them not very frequently because they are special. It's a gift. So that also happened. I don't know if this video is going to make sense. I hope that it does. Another first happened again. This time around, it was my first TV appearance. I made my first TV appearance on 25th of December 2024. Somebody reached out to me from a YouTube channel called Manspective Africa, a YouTube channel that focuses on masculinity and issues that men face, and they told me they wanted to interview me, and I went and attended that interview. But it just so happened that their show is also aired on a local TV station called KTN, and so it was that my episode was aired on 25th of December on KTN, and that was great. That was great. Oh, and how can I forget this? At some point, towards the end of the year, I met a hero of mine. Her name is Miss Trudy, and you guys know Miss Trudy. She's been a hero of mine, and she's one of the people that informed my decision to start a YouTube channel. And I ran into her in town, in Nairobi CBD, but she's so nice, and she agreed to make an appearance on my video. And yeah, that was very interesting, because you see, the thing is, Miss Trudy has about 400,000 subscribers, and she does not act like it. For her, it's like just something that is there. And she's been you know, on the YouTube platform for a very long time, and she's one of the people I look up to because of her work ethic and her ability to make content every other day. That is a special thing. The other thing that happened this year for the very first time is that I got a lawyer for the first time. I can't say that that is a simple thing. You know, one time I was talking to an aunt of mine and she was telling me that she wouldn't even know what to do if she had legal matters with the courts. Like, she wouldn't know where to start. And she said that if I ever come out of these legal issues, then I would be able to advise people on matters like that. I'd be able to tell people where to go for legal advice and things like that. And yeah, so that was another thing that happened. I am a guy that I believe in the existence of a higher power. And most people don't, but I do. I know for a fact that God does exist. And I have evidence. I've seen his influence in my life. I have seen it. It is interesting. Okay, one of the things that has happened is this. I started my YouTube channel on 14th of September 2019. The very first video that I uploaded on my YouTube channel was uploaded on 14th September 2019. Right? And then the video that began the current legal issues that I'm going through, the very first video that began the current issues I'm going through was published on YouTube on 14th September 2024. Exactly 5 years since I started my YouTube channel, and on the exact same day that I published my first video. I call that what you will. I call it the hand of God. I have seen other sort of like some other doings that I cannot explain other than attributing them to a higher power. And those doings I'm not able to tell you on camera because you will not believe them. You will not believe them. Maybe one day I will. But there's so much that is going on in the background that you guys don't know about. And some of these doings, some of these happenings that are happening in the background make me feel like I'm sort of a pawn in a game, a very intricate game of chess. Oh my goodness, I just hope that at the end of everything I'm still able to recognize myself. You know, when an archer wants to fire an arrow, they pick up a bow, put an arrow in it, and pull the string back, right? That is how you fire an arrow. Pull the string back. And as you pull the string back, the more sort of taut the string gets. And then there are two possibilities. The first is you can pull the string back too much that the bow breaks and everything is destroyed and it is the end of the world and everything. But there's another possibility. You can pull the string back so far back that when you release it, the speed at which it will shoot going forward has never been seen before in this world. I hope that my bow does not break. That's been that, guys. Today is 31st of December. We are getting into 2025. Ah, man. Who would have known? Where once there was before, there will now be after. Funny how historic days seem so ordinary when you're living them. That's been that, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. This has been a talking head video. I don't know if you guys have been able to watch it up to here. I just hope that you have. I just hope that this has encouraged somebody, certain aspects of it, because not all of it is encouraging. But yeah, that's been that, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope that you celebrate the new year with your families. Have a good time, and I'll see you in 2025.